Sebastian here, curator of the Sonic Symphonic podcast and composer of the Kalasin series of albums. Back here with a album review today, and it's doom metal from Vancouver, British Columbia, in the form of Lodestar. Now, the name Lodestar was chosen because of the meaning behind the word, and that meaning is a person or a thing that serves as an inspiration or guide, or in nautical terms, a star that is used to guide the course of a ship. On Lodestar's Spotify, they claim that they want to help convey meaning in their music and be a source of strength in darkest times. So, they've released an album, Event Horizon, June 2022, so this year. And yeah, let's get into it. Start with the opening track, Morning Star.
As I lie here, drifting off to sleep, uncertainty is getting hold of me. Will I still be here to witness the new day? I'll close my eyes and pray. It's hard to guess what lies ahead, but I hope to see the light again, to have the morning star chase the shadows away, defeat the darkness and help me on my way. I hope it brings the peace that my mind needs when the light is falling and I'm trapped in a dream. It'll make the ghosts of yesterday loosen their grip and release me so that I can be awake again.
Yeah, so already just 2 minutes into a 10-song, 48-minute album, and the opening track has already set kind of a scene. The instrumentation or instrumental part in the morning, in the beginning of Morning Star, kind of gives you the impression that you are kind of sort of lumbering across the waves in the darkness, and you know you have that star out there in the distance. That is your guiding light, and you know that whole feeling of space is cleverly constructed by the ethereal vocals from singer Kate. This track bounces straight into the second track, Go On Without Me.
I
decent heavy doom metal track. Absolutely enjoyed that listen. And a couple of things strike me. One, the production is very crisp, very perfectly sounding. And I've been getting into a bit of mixing and stuff myself, and kind of am on sort of a learning curve on this. But using sort of musicians' ears, of sort of pick out how certain things people do certain things. I can't talk this morning, and what interests me is that there's clearly the guitar panning on the left and right, making that big sound. But it's almost like what I'm hearing through headphones is the guitar is weighted just sort of like here sonically, and the vocals seem to be weighted just a little bit there. The kind of the soundscape, the use of sort of stereo fullness, it's matches that idea of travelling in this big lumbersome boat across some dark waves, and then that's represented by the guitars, and then you towards the light, which is represented by the vocals. I don't know if that's by design, or whether that's by interpretation, but that's the kind of sound and feel that I hear from Lodestar's music. The vocals are dynamic and kind of complex. There's harmonies that create a nice fullness, and the lovely melodious bit, the solo in the middle, that broke things up very nicely, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. A bit later on in the Event Horizon album, we're treated to a 7-minute 13 track called The Darkest Side of Me. This happens to be my favourite track of the album, so let's give it a spin. banger ending there. I really loved that touch. Also, what I loved is that use of the octave. There's a couple of sections in there. That octave sound, that's really good. The second time around, it's overlaid with some sort of ooh type thing of vocals. But all of that was the highlight of the album. So this track was the highlight of the album for me. Okay, I'm probably going to go off on a bit of a tangent here. I'm not quite sure exactly how to phrase this, but you look behind me and you see lots of posters of basically prog, sort of prog. I can't figure out where my hands are going, but black metal, death metal, symphonic, extreme. You know, doom metal historically has kind of, I don't know, sort of sat around, I'm going to be honest, say the bottom of the kind of the metal genres that I've kind of become accustomed to. And in the course of this work, you know, I'm meeting bands of all genres and subgenres and blended genres, and I have to thank Lodestar for their sort of their continuing introduction to the genre that I'm kind of experiencing in the course of the work that I do and the listening that I do. I've been listening to a lot of brown noise, as apparently it's a good way of relaxing if you have the kind of brain makeup that I do. And I find doom metal in particular kind of seems to resonate on the same level, and I'm not saying that doom metal is brown noise under any circumstances, obviously, but I just it goes without saying, but I don't know, I think maybe it operates around the same frequency spectrum, and I feel often apologetic towards the doom artists that I review because it doesn't make me as mechanically alive as you've probably seen in other videos, and you know, it's a thing that I think some people might come to expect, but what it does do is I find it quite settling. I find I listen more, you know, and it's kind of chilled out. I don't know, I'll have to look in the back of this video. There'll probably be the sort of moments of prolonged eye closure. I find doom metal almost meditative. There you go, I could have summed all of that up in one sentence. I'm finding doom metal meditative. And so there you go, that was Lodestar. Back catalogue, they've got quite a bit of it. I didn't prepare this bit, so allow me to unprofessionally go clicking about here. I did manage to get a listen of much of it. They've got another release called Wanderers, which I found a bit darker. That's their latest release up on their Spotify. I found that a little bit of a darker listen, but you know, I thoroughly enjoyed that. Some awesome covers. They've done a cover of a song called Blackbird and Pawns and Kings, and yeah, they've got quite a bit there to be listened to, and it's all good. And not only that, but they're apparently releasing an album this year. So quite prolific, or later this year, so quite a prolific artist as well. So yeah, check them out. I'm going to throw all the links below. I apologise for my ramblings, and I hope you've enjoyed the music.